Welcome back, Skidmore Family Farm friends. Today is our third day at the farm, or I should say my third day. Ashley and the kids went back home this afternoon, early afternoon, and I worked on a project at the church, which is part of where the school is that we're going to try and get the kids into. And I did a little drywall work, patching for them, for Pastor Tom. And now I'm back at the property and taking the weed whacker slash brush cutter. I've put a circular saw blade on our weed eater, which allows me to cut through stuff like this, little saplings. We have a lot of, I don't know the exact name for it, but I don't know if you can see it. We'll walk over here. It is they call it creek weed or something like that down here. It's kind of like bamboo. I may have said this in an earlier video, but you can see, I'll hold something up, a bigger piece. Kind of even looks like bamboo, but it's hollow. They call it creek weed, I think, here. I'm not sure the exact name of it. It's a pain in the butt's what I call it. But it grows anywhere there's a good water source or a damp area, and it grows, as you can see, it fills in like a jungle. The dead stuff just binds up with the new growth each year. So it's almost like weeds, like giant weeds intertwined with each other. But it's something that has to be done. Ryan made us a trail to this point, and then the tractor started running out of gas or fuel. It's a diesel, but he got more diesel fuel yesterday, or the day before yesterday, on Wednesday, and went to go start it, and then the starter started acting up. I guess it's been doing that for a while. It was on its way out, and so he pulled the starter on it, and excuse me, he's in the works of getting that fixed. But this is nothing spectacular or great yet. Cutting weeds is monotonous work, and we're in a heat advisory here, I guess, and it's supposed to be even hotter tomorrow. Sorry, getting in a glare. I think the heat index right now is probably over 100, and it just feels like you could cut through the air with all the humidity. And that explains why my shirt looks like, why it looks like I took a shower in my clothes. It kind of feels like it too, but I've gotten used to that. I mean, even at home, all the jobs I have, half of them aren't air conditioned, or the type of work we're doing, we can't run the air conditioner because of dust or fumes or something like that. So it's no biggie for me. I just kind of, like right now, I'm taking a break, so I decided to do a video, set the trimmer down, and just kind of relax. Take it at a manageable pace. Don't overwork yourself. Clean all the bugs off your forehead before you get on the video, which I didn't do. But anyhow, just wanted to give you a quick update, and I'm out in the middle of the woods talking to myself into my phone. But everything's going good. We went to the school meeting last night for like enrollment and meet the teacher type thing. My son's mother that gives me all the problems didn't bother to show up, said she had to work, but every week that he's with her, she's able to somehow go swimming every day, all day. Very frustrating. We got a court date for that, for the move, and we've got basically we've got the church, our neighbors, everybody praying for us. Hopefully you guys will, I know you guys have been great with us too, just giving us your prayers and best wishes, that type of thing. I know not everybody's a prayer, but if you are, or if you just like our videos, we're just trying to do the best that we can and get this situation that we're in figured out and keep moving forward with the farm. Like I said, I'm doing what I can. The neighbors are helping. The church and school itself and the neighbors, yeah. We wouldn't be this far ahead. And even the guy that sold us the property, I mean, he worked with us, he made it happen on an agreeable terms to where a lot of people probably wouldn't have did it the way he did. But he helped us out, and feels like we got everybody on our side. So hopefully on our court date, we are allowed to take my son. I'm not leaving without him, so things might get a little hectic here at the beginning of August. But we shall see. We'll just do our best and keep moving forward. Like I said, if you can say some prayers, send best wishes, keep us in your thoughts. Skidmore Family Farm is trying to do the best that they can. The kids were down here dying in the heat. We tried to take time off and go boating and all that stuff just to make it to where it wasn't something the kids hated. We want them to like it here. They had a hard time with the heat and camping and all that, which was to be expected. They're city kids. I'm used to construction work and cold and hot and all that, so I guess we'll have to break them in the hard way. Use them like a borrowed mule. No, everything's going good, I feel. Like I said, we'll just keep moving forward, and want everybody to have a great day, and keep liking and watching. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to Skidmore Family Farm. And pray for cooler weather too, please. It's over 100 degrees. Have a great day. Probably the same deer I jumped up last night was bedded down right over there in the thick brush over here. About the same size. Doe. Pretty cool. It's good to know that 100 degrees of deer are still out here, so when it cools down, they'll definitely be out. Welcome back, Skidmore Family Farm friends. I have found the old homestead. As you can see, this is the old fireplace. It's cut. Sorry, I'm shaky. I'm hot and worn out. I'm trying to fix this. But you can see that's the old fireplace stones. I just got up here and sat down, sweating. It's over 100 degrees, but we're still at it. I finally found, I think this is where I want to do our first home. Just because there was a homestead here a long time ago, I think it would be the right thing to do to kind of at least appreciate the old homestead and show gratitude for the land and the people that settled it before us, to at least bring this back. This used to be an original tract of, I think, a 900 or 1,000 or something. It was a huge tract of land, and I'm sure there was other homesteads at one point, but this is one of the original ones. As you can see, it's cut stone squares is how they built the actual fireplace. And whew, it's hot. I'm just trying to catch my breath, sorry. But you can't see it, but on the opposite side of the holler, or valley, whatever you want to call it, there is kind of like cliffs or outcrops, crofts, I think is how you say it, of stone that comes out, and there's kind of like a little bitty tunnel under it, but not quite a cave. It just hangs out over. I'll try and get some video of it in a little bit. I thought I was on the right track because it looked like there was vehicle tracks or something that had been there from a long time ago, and water, a little bit of water was trickling down it, but it was like the exact same width of what a truck or car would be. So I followed it up. It's maybe, I don't know, 200 feet from the pasture or so, but with a little bit of clearing and a little bit of like dozer work or even a tractor grader box, we could probably get a decent drive in for the vehicles and even drive the van back. I've got that van halfway back in the pasture since Brian, or I keep calling him Brian, Ryan, our neighbor, mowed, bush hogged some of the pasture, and I was able to drive the van halfway back until it got muddy. And their plans was to help fix the water issue too, because it comes in on both of our properties, and they like the idea of a pond, but we could also do runoff and split it where they want it to go and where we want it to go, and that way it has two ways to go, into the pond and then out of the pond, and then one straight shot through their property, like it's just a ditch or culvert, whatever you want to call it. So the water has multiple ways to go, and hopefully it won't clog up as easy with rock and silt as it washes down the mountainside. But once we get that culvert, I was able to drive through their property, and they're okay with it. They're like, you can put a drive through our property if you want. But that's either here nor there at this point. Once we start actually focusing on the infrastructure, I think this is where I want to do the house. So once we start putting in driveways and stuff, that's where that'll come into hand. Culvert pipe running across, dig a pond out, put gravel stone in on the drive coming into our property, and a culvert pipe across the creek where you saw the kids playing in an earlier video, and where I drove the van through it. It's just all the gravel's grown up with dirt and grass, and a lot of the rocks and gravel's probably been washed down the hillside or just buried under silt and dirt. But we are doing good, or I'm doing good. Everybody left yesterday, so I'm here by myself again. And the weed eater messed up the power head on it, the bolts that hold it on, one of them that's like the set screw that holds it in place, and then the other one clamps it down. The set screw went stripped out or something, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know where it was made, but it's pretty much junk. It's held together by plastic and a metal screw that goes into plastic, if that tells you anything. It's probably imported junk is what I would call it. But that's here nor there, so that's why I started just going out and venturing. I got tired of mowing or weed eating and using the sling blade to cut the weeds, and I just decided to explore a little bit and get out in the woods since the sun was out and it's really hot. And I was actually going in the wrong direction as far as where I was cutting the weeds. I went too far. Right where Ryan had stopped mowing was an old dry creek bed, and he just turned around there because it kind of goes up a hill and then down into the dry creek bed. And I just started walking that up, and it was like one little creek bed, and then it split and went on one side of the valley and on the ridge, and another track started on the left side. And I followed the left side up, and not more than 20 feet, it like turned into two, looked like tire tracks from a long time ago. You could tell something had been down it for there to be two identical tracks, probably 200 feet or whatever. It was definitely either man-made or coincidence, but it wasn't coincidence. It was definitely tire tracks. And that's about it. I'm going to flip the camera around. Hopefully there's no snakes hidden up here, because nobody's been in here in a minute, it looks like. But let me flip the camera around and we will get some better footage of this area, and maybe I can show you the outcrops hanging out over the valley side. Okay, this is the old fireplace, and we're going to walk around the other side. I'm thinking the way it looks, this would have been if you were looking into the fireplace, but I don't know. Maybe it was going the other way. We'll walk around. I haven't been around the other side yet. Like I said, hopefully. Sorry if it seems like I'm shaking a lot or whatever. I'm watching for snakes, and I just ran into a big cobweb, and it's supposedly there's a few copperheads here and there around here. No, I may have been wrong. Let's see. Maybe it was this side. It's kind of hard to tell because so much of it's knocked down. The other side may have been the back side, but it's just kind of hard to tell because of the way the ground is. I know you probably can't see it through the camera. It's kind of like dug out here, so there's some more stones up there. So I'm not too sure how this was laid out, but there's definitely, with the way the drive comes down, here's a little trail you can kind of see through here. That goes down, and then if you follow this around right through here, there's a drive, or where the drive used to be a long time ago. Please be no snakes in here. Just more cobwebs. But you can see down here it kind of drops off. Maybe you can tell, I don't know. It looks like this is the trail. Like I said, I kind of cleared it as I walked up it. And then on the other side, I don't know if you'll be able to tell or not. The way I'm looking through the viewfinder, I don't see it. But this drive, it looks like it wraps around and then it came up to here. And maybe on the other side of this big tree. And you would park up here where these little saplings are. And then the house was up there. But we could build a good... we take out these trees that are grown up through the old home site. And it's got good grade. We'd probably put it on piers or like posts. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm shaking. My hands are cramped up from weed eating earlier. But definitely potential here. And the incline coming up to this area was nice. It had just a slow, gradual incline, and it had a good rock base under it. So if we graded it back down and then took gravel on top of that, we would definitely have a good base for a road. Let's walk over here. So there's a lot more of these flat stones. I don't know if this was maybe steps or something, because it's kind of like a path leading down. I'm sure there probably was steps or something. Those rocks or stones at one time, but this is a big valley. And that's what I was saying, where the creek goes down. And there's actually water flowing through it, but it must go underground as it gets towards the bottom. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's trickling down pretty good. But let's walk down the trail that I cleared out. Dang, I left my machete up there. I'll come back and get it. But you can definitely, I can see it. I don't know if you can tell. There's like, right here is a tire track or a rut. And then on this side, there's a rut. So it's basically there and there going down. And you can see that it's a clearing. There's a few small saplings, but there's big trees on both sides. It was just, it kind of looked like it was a trail from the bottom when I started looking up, but it was grown up with weeds. So it's kind of hard to see. But I just kind of went with it, and I was hot, so I wanted to get out of the openness and get into where the shade was. And this isn't grown up too bad as far as like lots of weeds. A lot of it's just little saplings that have kind of started to grow, but and some sticker bushes or something. But I'm trying to get down to where you can see the outcroft of rocks on the other side. You can kind of see some of it here, this wall. Sorry, up there, like where that tree root is, the base of that tree, there's little ledges already where it's starting to erode there, but on down a little ways, more towards the bottom, you can kind of see it through there. Let's keep going. And hopefully I can get a little bit closer to the other side. It's not too, hopefully not too slippery going down the ridge line. But this just needs, like I said, decent tractor to get back here and box grade this down and put some gravel on it. And we're already starting to get some connections with people that can get shale and just like broken up rock and all kinds of stuff that's not really driveway stone but can be used for it. Here's part of it. I still don't think you can see it. But with some clearing from the cabin or from the home side at the top of the hill, you would have a view down through this valley. You'd see all the like little outcrops and rock, and once it's cleared up, it would be beautiful. And then you would have the sound of the creek when you sat on the front porch, especially after it rains. I'm sure it hasn't rained for a couple days, and it's been really hot, so the water's probably not flowing nearly as good as after an inch of rain or so. But you can see how some of the water here is trickling out. It's just barely moving and going down these ruts. But yeah, with some, now that I know where it's at, and once we get a four-wheel drive and stuff like that, or even with the everybody, the neighbors are all helping us, we can get back here. I know where to go now. Whoa! And I bit the dust. Oh, that would have been cool if that was in selfie mode, because you would have saw me fall. All right, now let me see. I'm gonna go across here, I think, and we'll see these outcrops. That may be a cave, I don't know, but I think it's just an outcrop, or like a cliff ledge, whatever you want to call it. But if I took a lot of these little trees out and left the bigger ones, so you'd have to keep the root balls in there, and then we've got all this rock here that we could take some of this out to rebuild the fireplace and all of that. But yeah, there's a little trail going up there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but yucky cobwebs. I hate the cobwebs worse than I do spiders. There's a spider climbing up that one. Looks like a, oh, slippery. I got the wrong shoes on for this. Where'd it go? But now you can see. I'm gonna try and get up there without breaking my neck. Just have to go up at an angle, kind of sidestepping. And hopefully there's no snakes up here either, because I don't want to get bit. Oh, holy moly, landslide. This is when a GoPro would be handy, like a helmet cam or chest cam, something like that. Whatever they got. I know they got a couple different versions of that. Like I said, I'm going up a pretty steep hill, so sorry for swinging the camera around. I hope nobody gets motion sickness, but you could see this is very cool. Wish the kids could have saw this. This would have gave them a lot more interest in the property, I bet. Yeah, it's no cave, it's just an outcrop. But this would definitely, with some clearing and cleaning up those saplings and stuff, would definitely be a good spot for the cabin site to be opposite, kind of. You can't see it, but it's catty corner this way, up the hill on the other side of the valley. Check under this ledge, make sure there's no snakes under there. Nope. Alright. It's like this was made for me. Hopefully it don't break when I sit my big butt on it. Nope. So, we'll do like a little kind of 360 view here. And this is right in the middle of our property. All this. Sorry again if I'm moving too fast, but... And that's coming back down this way. And you get a little bit of road noise because it's through that valley and then on the other side of the pasture. When you get on the other side of the pasture, it is there's a steep hill going up to the road, and that's what I drove down to come down our driveway, which we won't be able to use until we grade it and get more gravel in. But this is definitely cool to have something to say this is on your property, for me at least. I know some people could care less, but I'm guessing that most of my viewers would like this, since a lot of my viewers are homestead, or they like the idea of it even if they live in the city or whatever. Which is fine. I've lived in the city all my life. This is what I've been waiting for. And then down there's the creek that we just crossed. But like if I take a lot of these smaller trees like these old saplings and trees that are dead, and clean out all that, and probably even top these bigger trees down is most likely what I would do. Like I showed you in past videos how I did the walnut tree in our backyard. Just cut it down at the fork on these big trees, and that will let a lot of light in, and then we could plant some sort of grass once we get it all cleared up, or get goats in here to eat all this up, and then we can get the soil turned up, get back into the seed bank, and then put our own seed out, depending on what comes up. And that's a long way from now, but that'll probably be in next summer's to-do list, or spring. And well, the clearing of it will come here shortly. I even brought my chainsaw, but I'm just running short on time, and there's like a heat advisory. I think I was supposed to get up to 110 today or something like that with the heat index. So it's not very comfortable to work in, but oh well. We're working through it, and the most important thing was I found where I needed to go, or I thought I wanted to go. And it ended up being a very nice spot, so that's the best part. So now each time we come back, we can camp where our tent is, or if we could get a temporary like little bridge crossing the one muddy area between here and there, the rest of the way the van would come, and then we could just stop down at the bottom of this drive that comes up to the property, clean the drive that's going up here up some, and then get somebody to help us, or by that time we might have our house sold and get our own tractor and just box grade that for a day, basically. Just keep dragging that driveway down until we got big rocks coming back up, and then lace it with gravel and driveway base, road base, whatever, and maybe even dig the creek rock out, like I said, because there's rock all the way down from I don't know how far. Once we get it cleaned up, some of these trees thinned out, we'd be able to get a track hoe or whatever we need up in here to dig rock. Or even put a small pond at the bottom of this where the creek flows into it. That'd be nice too. Or dam it up. Dam it up at the bottom of this and let this whole little valley fill up. So we'd have the valley with like a pond and a view of the rock formations from our homestead, which would be killer. That would be awesome. I mean, to have that's kind of, to me, that's the $1 million view. But we're going to wrap this video up and we'll call it a day for Skidmore Family Farm. Not sure what time it is, but I'm hot and worn out and I haven't really accomplished anything other than finding the old homestead. But if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up and hit the notification bell for all our latest videos. Thanks for watching Skidmore Family Farm. Have a great day.